with the Syrian profile. Turkish Foreign Minister Mevlut Çavuşoğlu said on Wednesday, Russia and Iran need to fulfill their duties and prevent strikes by Syrian government forces in the country's Idlib province, saying the violations could not happen without their support. In an interview with the state-run Anadolu News Agency, Çavuşoğlu said Ankara would hold a meeting on Syria with like-minded countries in Turkey after a summit in the Russian city of Sochi, where a Syrian Congress of National Dialogue is set to be held at the end of this month. Onto a ship's collision, the Iranian company whose oil tanker burst into flames after a collision in the East China Sea says there is still hope of finding survivors as 31 crew members remain missing and rescue efforts continued on Wednesday. As the stricken sanction still lists after colliding with the Hong Kong registered freighter CF Crystal late Saturday, a spokesman for National Iranian Tanker Company said that rescuers likely will find survivors. Chinese state media reported that Sanction had a crew of 30 Iranians and 2 Bangladeshis, adding that the 21 members of the Crystal's all-Chinese crew were rescued. Moving on to Spain, Catalonia's main separatist parties said on Wednesday they have agreed to re-elect fugitive Carles Puigdemont as president of the region later this month. Puigdemont boasted again on Wednesday that the 3 Catalan pro-independence parties had secured a majority despite some of their candidates campaigning from self-imposed exile or in jail while facing possible charges of rebellion. It's worth mentioning that Puigdemont, who has been in Brussels since he was sacked in October over an attempt to secede from Spain, faces immediate arrest if he returns home. On the other side of the world, the storm that slammed the California coastal community is over, while the search for its victims is not. Authorities in Santa Barbara County were still trying to reach new areas and dig into the destruction to find dead, injured, or trapped people after a powerful mud flow swept away dozens of homes. The search was expanded and deepened, with search and rescue team arriving from Los Angeles County, the Coast Guard, and the National Guard, along with law enforcement. At least 13 people were confirmed dead on Tuesday, at least 25 were injured, and at least 50 had to be rescued by helicopters. On another side, South Korean President Moon Jae-in said on Wednesday that he remains open to a meeting with North Korea's leader if it would improve the strained relations between their two countries and help resolve the global standoff over the North's nuclear weapons development. During the televised news conference in Seoul, Moon said to have a summit, some conditions must be established. This comes one day after high-level officials from the two Koreas held a rare and apparently successful meeting, agreeing on the North's participation in the upcoming Winter Olympics in the South. And finally, economic news. Speculations that China may cut or even halt its purchases of U.S. treasuries weighed on stock markets on Wednesday. In Europe, Germany's DAX fell 0.8% to 13,280, while the CAC 40 in France declined 0.2% to 5,500. The FTSE 100 index of leading British shares was steady at 7,729. US stocks were poised for a lower opening, with Dow futures and the broader S&P 500 futures both down 0.4%. Moreover, in Asia, Japan's Nikkei 225 index lost 0.3% to 23,788.20, while the Shanghai Composite Index added 0.2% to 3,421.83.